The local impacts of the Canadian wildfires are continuing to make headlines as we now wrap up the second consecutive day of poor air quality here in Western Mass. Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson is in studio with what people are saying about it. Maria.
Chris, for much of the week, air quality has been compromised here in Western Mass, and locals are looking forward to the smoke finally clearing.
It felt like something was burning.
A hazy sky covering the area Tuesday and Wednesday as smoke from wildfires in Ontario and Quebec made its way into the northeast. The smoke compromising air quality and prompting an air quality advisory in many local communities, including Springfield, where Jean-Michael Rios de Pedro lives and tells us he felt the impact of the smoke in the air.
I felt like a smoke, and the ashes were coming down, and like my throat was, I felt my throat very sensible during that time.
Rios de Pedro telling us he was surprised to learn that we're feeling the effects from something happening so far away.
I was surprised about the air pollution from Canada is coming through over here to Massachusetts, so that's insane.
The Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection issued a statewide advisory saying the air quality can be unhealthy for sensitive groups and also advised people to stay indoors if they can. As for Risto Pedro, he noticed an improvement from Tuesday's conditions and says he isn't nervous about being outside until the advisory expires at midnight here in the Bay State. Instead, he says the sun's reddish glow on Tuesday and the hazy sky on Wednesday has brought a unique beauty to the area.
You know what I think? I think that was beautiful. Like yesterday, everything out here, like the sun and the shadows and shades and everything, it was so beautiful yesterday. Like to say, coming from a wildfire, it brought something beautiful to the environment.
In Springfield, the air quality alert is set to remain in effect until 7:30 tomorrow morning. Reporting in studio, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.
Maria.